with someone you're supposed to call family. But then he says something that flips everything upside down. A quiet breakfast turns into a fight you didn't see coming, and just when you think it's over, he drops a gift that leaves you speechless. What's he hiding? Stick around to find out. I'm standing at the stove, stirring a jar of sauce for some quick breakfast, when the front door slams shut behind my parents. They're off to visit friends in a little town about an hour away from our suburban Texas home. It's just me, Liz, 19 years old, and my stepbrother Daniel, who's 21 now, left in the house. The quiet hits me hard. No chatter, no clinking of coffee cups, just this empty hum that makes every noise feel bigger. Daniel said he's staying behind for college stuff, but I saw him sprawled out with a stack of superhero comics earlier, not a textbook in sight. Typical. I shake my head and grab a loaf of bread to slice up, figuring I'll keep it simple with some toasts and sauce. It's a Saturday morning, and I'm not about to stress over a gourmet meal. The kitchen smells warm, like tomatoes and spices, when I hear his footsteps coming down the stairs. They're slow, deliberate, like he's got something on his mind. I don't look up right away, just keep slicing, but I feel him before I see him. He steps into the doorway, leaning against the frame with his arms crossed. "Hey Liz, what you cooking?" His voice is casual, but there's this weird edge to it, like he's testing the water. I glance over, and he's got this half smile that doesn't quite reach his eyes. "Just toasts with some sauce," I say, trying to sound chill. "Want some?" He nods, but instead of heading back upstairs like he usually does, he just stands there, watching me. I'm not gonna lie, it throws me off. Daniel and I have never been tight. Our parents got hitched 3 years ago, and we've been stuck in this awkward step-sibling dance ever since. We're cool enough, I guess, but there's always this unspoken line between us. Today, though, that line feels blurry. I flip the bread on the pan, pretending I don't notice his stare, but my stomach's doing flips. Why is he lingering like this? "You know," he says out of nowhere, "we're alone here till tomorrow." I nearly drop the knife. It's not what he says. It's how he says it, low and slow, like he's dropping a hint. I laugh it off. Yeah, no kidding. Peace and quiet, right? But he doesn't laugh back, just keeps looking at me, and I swear the air gets thicker. I'm not some nervous kid. I'm 19. I've got my own life at community college, friends, a part-time gig at the coffee shop. But something about this moment makes me feel off balance, like I'm stepping into a scene I didn't sign up for. I focus on the sauce, stirring it harder than necessary, and ask, "You good, Daniel?" "You're acting kinda weird." He shrugs, that smile still hanging on his face. "Just thinking, that's all." Thinking about what? I want to ask, but I don't. Instead, I plate up the toasts, keeping my hands busy so I don't have to meet his eyes. "Well, think quieter," I joke, but it comes out shaky. This isn't just about him standing there. It's the way the house feels today. Too big, too still, like it's holding its breath. I've been alone with Daniel before, no big deal. But this time it's different. Maybe it's me overthinking, or maybe it's him, but I can't shake this vibe. I catch myself wondering what's going through his head. Is he bored, messing with me, or is there something else? I push the thought away fast. We're family, not by blood, sure, but by life. That's gotta mean something, right? "Smells good," he says, finally moving from the doorway to grab a chair at the counter. He's close now, close enough that I can smell his shampoo, something citrusy and sharp. I step back a little, keeping it casual. "Yeah, it's nothing fancy," I say, handing him a plate. He takes it, but his fingers brush mine for a split second, and I pull back like I've been shocked. What's wrong with me? It's just Daniel. I force a smile and sit across from him, trying to act normal. So, what's the plan today? More comics? I tease, hoping to steer us back to safe ground. He chuckles, but it's half-hearted. Maybe. Or maybe I'll just hang out down here. His eyes lock on mine again, and I feel that twist in my gut. Hang out with me. I don't know why that sounds like a loaded statement, but it does. I take a bite of my toast, chewing slow, giving myself a second to think. Part of me wants to call him out, ask what's up for real, but another part, the smarter part, says to let it slide. We're just two people in a quiet house, eating breakfast. That's it. But as he keeps watching me, I'm not so sure. Something's shifting, and I'm not ready to figure out what. I set the plates down on the old wooden table in the living room, the one Mom and Dad snagged at a garage sale last summer. Daniel's right behind me, grabbing a seat while the TV drones on with some goofy cartoon neither of us is watching. I plop down across from him, keeping the table between us like it's some kind of shield. The toast is still warm, but my appetite's gone south. He's staring again, that same weird look from the kitchen, and it's making my skin crawl. I take a bite anyway, just to have something to do, when he drops it. You ever think about what it'd be like if we weren't, family? My fork freezes halfway to my mouth, and I nearly choke. What? I manage, forcing a laugh that sounds more like a cough. You've been reading too many of those comics. I'm hoping he'll back off, play it like a joke, but he doesn't. He leans forward, elbows on the table, and his voice gets quieter. I mean, we're not real brother and sister, Liz. Not by blood. My stomach flips, and not in a good way. I shove my chair back an inch, trying to keep it light. Okay, weirdo. What's with the deep thoughts today? But his eyes don't waver, and I can feel the air getting heavy, like a storm rolling in. I'm 19, not some clueless kid, but this is throwing me. I've got college, my barista job, a life that doesn't involve whatever this is. Daniel's 21. He's supposed to be the mature one, but right now, he's acting like he's lost the plot. I grab my glass, empty, and mutter, "Gonna get some water," practically sprinting to the kitchen. My heart's pounding like I just ran a mile. I don't even want water. I just need out of that room. His voice follows me, sharp and quick. You can't tell me you don't feel it too. I trip over the rug, catching myself on the counter. Feel what? I want to yell back, but I don't. Standing at the sink, I turn on the faucet, letting the sound drown out my thoughts. What's he even talking about? Sure, we've had our moments. A look here, a laugh there. But that's normal, right? Step-siblings figure stuff out. Except, this doesn't feel normal. I splash cold water on my face, trying to snap out of it. Maybe I'm reading too much into this. He's just bored, stirring the pot because the house is too quiet. Yeah, that's it. I take a deep breath and head back, telling myself to chill. He's still at the table, picking at his food like nothing happened. I sit down, keeping my distance, and stab at my toast. So, I say, forcing my voice to stay steady. What's this about? You lonely or something? He smirks, but it's not funny. Maybe, or maybe I've just been noticing you more lately. My fork clatters against the plate. Noticing me? What's that supposed to mean? I'm not some girl he met at a party. I'm Liz, the one he argues with over the remote. Daniel, cut it out. I snap, sharper than I mean to. This isn't a game. He leans back, hands up like he's surrendering, but his eyes say different. I'm not playing, Liz. I'm just saying what's on my mind. I shake my head hard. Well, keep it in your head, okay? We're family. End of story. But even as I say it, I'm second-guessing myself. Family's supposed to be simple, right? Mom and Dad made us a unit, and that's that. So why's my chest tight, like I'm lying to myself? I hate this. Hate that he's making me think about stuff I've always shoved down deep. Look, he says, softer now. I'm not trying to freak you out. Just think about it. We're stuck here together. No parents, no rules. Doesn't that mean anything? I stare at him, my jaw tight. It means we're siblings having breakfast, Daniel. That's all it means. But my voice cracks, and he notices. He doesn't push, just nods and takes a bite of his toast, but the silence between us is loud. I'm mad at him for saying it, at myself for not shutting it down faster. Was there a second, just one, where I wondered too? I push the thought away, fast. The cartoon on TV cuts to a loud commercial, and I jump a little. Daniel's still watching me, waiting like he thinks I'll crack. I won't. I'm done, I say, shoving my plate back. You can clean up. I'm up and moving before he can respond, heading anywhere but here. My head's spinning, and I need space to figure out why his words hit harder than they should. This isn't some movie twist. It's real life, and I'm not about to let it get messy. Not today. Not ever. I'm at the sink, scrubbing a plate that's already spotless, when Daniel walks in. The water's running loud, but it's not enough to block out the sound of his footsteps. My hands are shaky, and I'm trying to focus on the suds instead of the mess from earlier. After that weird breakfast, I've been dodging him all day, keeping busy, staying quiet, but now he's here, and I can feel his eyes on me before he even says a word. Liz, we gotta talk, he says, his voice low and careful, like he's stepping on thin ice. I don't turn around, just keep washing, gripping the sponge tighter. I don't think we do, I mutter, hoping he'll take the hint and leave. He doesn't. Come on, you can't just pretend nothing's up. I hear him shift, leaning against the counter behind me. My jaw clenches, and I finally spin around, tossing the sponge down. What's there to say, Daniel? You're acting weird, and I'm over it. My voice is louder than I mean it to be, echoing off the kitchen tiles. He flinches, but his face softens, like he's guilty or something. I'm not trying to mess with you, he says, running a hand through his hair. Why are you so scared to admit there's something here? His words hit me like a punch, and I freeze, scared. I'm not scared. I'm mad, confused, maybe a little lost, but not scared. Or am I? I cross my arms, glaring at him. Because it's wrong, Daniel. We're family. We live together. Our parents are married. That's the deal. He steps closer. Not too close, but enough to make me feel the space shrink. We're not blood, Liz. We didn't grow up together. You know that. His voice is steady, almost pleading, and it's throwing me off. I want to yell back, tell him he's crazy, but there's this tiny voice in my head whispering he's not totally wrong, and I hate it. Look, I snap, pointing at him. We're not doing this. You're my stepbrother. End of story. Whatever you're feeling, squash it. He looks at me, his eyes searching mine, and for a second I think he's gonna argue. But then he nods, slow, like he's giving up. Fine. I didn't mean to push you, okay? I don't know. I thought maybe you felt it too. My breath catches. Felt it too. I open my mouth to deny it, but nothing comes out. Because deep down, way deep, there's been a flicker, a stupid, fleeting thought I've always shoved away. And now he's calling it out. I turn back to the sink, grabbing a towel to dry my hands, just to have something to do. You're wrong, I say, quieter now, but it sounds weak even to me. He sighs, and I hear the frustration in it. Maybe, But I see how you look at me sometimes, Liz. Don't act like it's all in my head. My face burns, and I whip around again. Stop it. You don't get to say that. I'm yelling now, my heart racing. He holds up his hands, backing off. All right, I'll drop it. I don't want to freak you out. But it's too late. I'm already freaked out, and not just by him, by me. The kitchen feels too small, like the walls are closing in. I need air, but I'm stuck here, staring at him. He's got this look, part sorry, part stubborn, and it's messing with me. I just want things to be normal, I say, almost begging. Can we do that? He nods again, slower this time. Yeah, normal. I can do that. But his voice doesn't sound sure, and neither does mine. We stand there, the silence thick, and I'm wondering how we even got here. Was it the empty house, the boredom, or something we've both been ignoring for way too long? I'm about to turn away, end this for good, when he steps forward and presses something small into my hand. Found this at the gas station, he says, tossing me a grin. Thought you'd like it. I look down. It's a keychain, my initials, LZ, carved into it. Mom and Dad walk in behind him, chatting about traffic, and I'm still processing. Knew they were coming early, he adds, casual as ever. Picked it up before they grabbed me for the ride. My chest tightens, but before I can respond, he leans in close and whispers, "This isn't over." His smile sharp and unreadable. He turns to leave with them, and I'm left clutching the keychain. As the door shuts, I feel paper crinkle inside my fist. A tiny note I didn't see him slip in.